Hello, 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 hello. Welcome to Royal Sussex. Welcome, one and all. There's always that weird thing. Do you say Happy Memorial Day or not? I mean, is there anything to be happy about? I mean, it is Memorial Day. Um, well, people are happy to be off from work in some cases, and some people, I don't know. I've always wondered about that. Let me get my microphone in front of me. But yeah, I'm not sure what is apropos, but yeah, for all of those who have lost someone, um, you know, um, condolences, especially if it's been very recent. Connie Bomber! Connie Bomber, you're up? Wow. So late. I was thinking about you and a few other people like Elaine Parker. Let's see. Lydia Washington is here. Let me see who else is here. Mario and Pena is here. Uh, Lorna Williams, Karuna Reina. Okay, very good. Well, uh, let me get into it then. Oh man, gotta drag a couple of people, um, but it wouldn't be me if I didn't, right? So let me see here. Do that and that. All right, let me grab my slides. Okay, slide, slide, slide. Janice Goodrich, thank you for being here. And okay, got it. Got it. All right, slides are coming up. Also, I'm going to close a couple of screens because I got a bunch of stuff open, and that is going to make the old PC red hot. Anyway, I was up very late last night working on a project, and not sure if I ever finished it, but yeah, and that was with the new PC, and it was tripping. There we go. Harry and Meghan news as per usual, and plus we're going to do some dragging the Middletons. All right, so I'm going to scroll all the way through and see who was here last. Lorna Williams, okay. Oh, Deidre Meinke, thank you. Sharon Chung. Robin Hyde, very good. Thank you very much. Ozell Dunlap, love that name, Ozell. Annie Bullard wants to say hi to a few people. There we go. And Dansby One, thank you for being here. Zenobia Woods, glad to have you here. Thank you very much. So, for those of you in the United States, happy Memorial Day. This is a day to reflect and remember. I don't remember the exactuals. Did I just make up a word? The actual or the exact. I was trying to say at the same time. Where does Memorial Day come from? Let me see here. Memorial Day. Let me see where it starts. Memorial Day, originally known as Decoration Day, is a federal holiday in the United States for honoring and mourning the United States military personnel who died while serving the United States Armed Forces. From 1868 to 1970, it was observed on May 30th, and since 1970, it is observed on the last Monday of May, Memorial Day. So there you go. That is where it comes from. It originates from the 1870, no, 1868. And then almost 100 years later, yeah, a little over 100 years later, they decided to move the holiday to the last Monday of May. So for a lot of people, Memorial Day is known as the unofficial start of summer. And there's a lot of things that are open from Memorial Day to Labor Day. just because of that. But since global warming, it seems like some things have been pushed back a bit because the average cold weather seems to roll in a little later every year. So there you have it. But I noticed that it is still kind of cool in some places, not as warm as it would normally be for almost June. Okay, so hello, Alicia. Let's see, Marilyn Farley, thank you for being here. Judy Muscated, thank you for being here. And Reba Henderson, Marcy Foreman, very cool. Okay, so we're going to go to the Wayback Machine. Prince Harry visits Arlington National Cemetery back in May of 2013. And I didn't know if it was okay to share the video with you guys. So I'll just do a few still photos to mark the occasion. Now, I'm not sure if this is the actual Arlington mansion. Um, the cemetery was actually the Arlington estate that belonged to someone who was on the side of the Confederacy. And in order to ruin or to punish the owner of the estate, they actually began to bury the war dead there. And they turned this very stately home into a cemetery. And so that's how Arlington Cemetery began. It was actually someone's estate. And then, of course, it became the what do you call it? Became a cemetery for the war dead. And so the family was actually, even though they were on the side of the Confederacy, they were actually compensated by the United States. They purchased the property, and of course, at that point, it began as a national cemetery. But it's not the only national cemetery. There are several across the country, but is by far the most famous is Arlington. Now, presidents who have served in the military have been buried there, although presidents who have not served in the military or presidents who have chosen to be buried elsewhere are not buried there. Well, of course, about 300 pounds of hubris decided that he would change that by changing the law. I don't know whether it went through Congress or not. But anyway, Trump decided he would change the rules because he wanted to make sure that when his time comes that he could be buried there. Now, it might surprise you guys that Franklin Roosevelt is not buried there. But then again, yeah, actually, he was a military. He was in the Navy. I think he was a Navy. Oh gosh, I forgot what his position was, but he was in the Navy before he was stricken by that polio. And even the senior George Bush, a World War II hero, is not buried at Arlington National. So there's no rule that the presidents have to be there. And there's actually one president that is buried in a very traditional European way. He's buried, or should I say, entombed at the National Cathedral, which I think it's Woodrow Wilson is buried there or entombed there, which that is the only president that I know of that has ever been buried inside of a house of worship. So General Grant is in New York at Grant's tomb. So yeah, there's no rule that you have to be there. And of course, Lincoln famously is in a cemetery in Illinois, in Springfield, Illinois. So just a little history about the Arlington National. And of course, there is Prince Harry laying a wreath. And you'll notice that it features the poppies, which is not a thing here in the US, in case you were wondering. I think they said the poppies had to do something with the Battle of the Somme. Was it the Battle of the Somme where in the field where there was so much bloodshed, that was the only thing that was growing? I think that's the story. I don't really know it, you know, off the top of my head, but that is the best explanation I could think of, is that it had something to do with a battle and a bunch of war dead, and that is where they were able to bloom. And since then, it's been adopted by the British military, but over here, it's not a thing. Um, so you would not see someone in the U.S. Wearing a poppy. And here, Harry takes a moment of reflection as he walks amongst the, gosh, I don't even know how many. Now, oddly enough, I actually went to a military cemetery only once in life, and I believe it was in Cambridge, England. Can you believe that? The only place I had ever been to a national cemetery was not even here in the United States. There is actually land that was donated to the United States military for a an American cemetery overseas. And actually, I didn't even think about it. Otherwise, I would have shared some photos with you. But I just thought about it right now. Oh, as a matter of fact, I can grab a couple of photos of that for you. But yeah, it was the oddest thing. I was taking a tour and I heard them mention Cambridge American Cemetery and Memorial. That's the name of it. Yeah, and I heard them mention that there was a cemetery, and so I went. Let me see here. I'm going to share a couple of photos with you very quick. But it's a beautiful place. It is a beautiful place, and I was just blown away to be there. Okay. And they even had like I guess you would say a park ranger or something like that. But yeah, but that's okay. Let me grab that very fast. Cemetery, and I'm just gonna pick a couple of random photos. Only two of them. Okay, so there's that. And I will grab this one so you guys can see just a glimpse of the landscape there. But how about that? How about that? What are the chances? I'm not even in the U.S. and I'm at a national cemetery. Okay. Okay, let me try that again. My PC is not cooperating. Wonder if I could do it like that. Hold on a second, you guys. See if that works. Huh. Now that did. Oh. Okay. Nope, not working out for me. Let me see here. I'll try one more time, and then after that, I will move on. Shame on me. I didn't even think about it until just now. And you guys know how I am about my European travels. Yeah, not working out, you guys. But all right, so on to the next one. And then here's another image. So Harry took this time to himself, and I believe that pain in the neck, Max Foster, was touring around with him while he was in the U.S. And as you can see there, to my comrades in arms of the United States of America who have paid the ultimate sacrifice in the cause of freedom, Captain Harry Wells. So, in case you're wondering what he wrote on the card, that is the words of Prince Harry and even signed by Harry. Um, yeah, and of course, I'm wondering, and you're probably doing the same thing, wondering what happened to the card. What happened to the card? But so there was more than one reef laying. There was the poppies, of course, and as I said, because it's not actually an American thing, you could also see that Harry got a more traditional um, floral arrangement for the one grave that he decided to honor. Now, the person that he honored, the best I could figure out the reason why he chose that particular grave was because it was someone who died recently at that time back in 2013. Before Jersey, I decided to, and I think he's speaking of New Jersey. But yeah, before Jersey, I'd gone to Washington, D.C. to and met with President Barack Obama and First Lady Michelle Obama, visited Arlington National Cemetery, laid a wreath at the tomb of the unknown soldier. I'd laid dozens of wreaths before, but the ritual was different in America. You didn't place the wreath on the grave yourself. A white gloved soldier placed it with you, and then you laid your hand singly for one beat upon the wreath. This extra step, this partnering with a living soldier, moved me, holding my hand to the wreath for an extra second. I found myself a bit wobbly, my mind flooding with images of all the men and women with whom I served. I thought about death, injury, grief from Helmand Province to Hurricane Sandy in the Alma Tunnel. And I wondered how other people just got on with their lives, whereas I felt such doubt and confusion and something else. One of the squaddies shared that today, and I do believe that that comes from Spare. But wow, that is powerful. That is very powerful. So in that instant, all of these things was coursing through Harry's mind back in 2013. What a strong sense of duty. And this is the grave where Harry laid a personal wreath. Michael L. Stansberry Jr., Special United States Army, special is a special sergeant, SPC. Help me out, Black Queen, if you're here. But yeah, so this is someone who had died recently, and I still don't know exactly why this particular grave was chosen, but that is the one where Harry decided to lay a wreath that you can see right here. So, to that one individual who will represent all of the armed services for that visit, aside for the unknown soldier. And then here you can see Harry took some time out to place flowers at the tomb of John F. Kennedy. That was obviously something that he had requested. Uh, Much to his credit, a lot of Harry's visit at that time, the itinerary was partially created by him. Like, for instance, if you remember Spare, then you know how he felt about 9/11, how helpless he felt, and how much he wanted to do something. So he did visit the ground zero. As a matter of fact, I believe he was the first royal to visit ground zero. And then I think his brother and his wife went there when they did their tour of the US after their wedding in 2011. I think it was 2012 or something like that. No, actually, I think it was 2014. So if Harry went in 2013, I think it was like 2014 or 15. whenever they made their visit to the U.S. But when Harry went, it was still, very much a hole in the ground, basically. So, okay. Um, and then I guess, as a matter of coincidence, Harry did visit the grave, and I'm looking at that photo today. And then later on, I found out that today is John Fitzgerald Kennedy's 106th birthday. Yes, today is JFK's 106th birthday, born in 1917. The 35th president of the United States was born um, on this day. So, interesting tie-in that I had only just saw this, and then suddenly I'm like, oh, is it? So there you go. JFK's birthday. And one of the things that I have to say is it just goes to show what an impact he made in those 1,000 days. I think it was just about 1,000 days he was president. If you look at Ron DeSantis's wife, she's trying her best to be Jackie Kennedy 2.0. And I would say that just about every first lady since that time have, in some kind of way, made some choices that very much reflect Jacqueline Kennedy. And as for the presidents, I believe every president has had that JFK moment where they have channeled the 35th president. So it says a lot about them that they have left such a great impression on the country. And then one of the squaddies decided to remind people that Prince Harry launched the Travalyst, right? Prince Harry launches new travel program to encourage eco-friendly tourism. Travalyst is the first project under the Sussex Royal Foundation, not the Royal Foundation, but the Sussex Royal Foundation. This was at that point in time when it was necessary to divide the households because, well, as you know, Harry's brother can be a bit temperamental, and his brother's wife can be terribly shady. So it became necessary to divide the households. And so I believe at that point, the Sussex's offices were based out of Buckingham Palace instead of the Kensington Palace. So Travalyst is a coalition of big name founded by Prince Harry, says one of the squaddies, not the Royal Foundation as claimed. This is Harry's own solo project. And that was the image that they tweeted along with that. So for obvious reasons, I didn't mention the squaddie's name because you know how that is. You have some middle-aged Karens that can't wait to go over and see if they can try to start something. So I'd rather do it that way. Empowering travelers to make more sustainable choices. And that was Harry's brainchild. Out of all the years that his father and his brother, out of all the years that they've had to try to make an impact on the environment, I think this is going to exceed everything else that the royal family has ever done because this involves some major players in the travel and tourism industry. Founded by Prince Harry, the Duke of Sussex, Travalyst is a coalition of some of the biggest names in travel, including Trip.com, Visa, and Amadeus. And I believe that may be a dated thing there because I am pretty sure that I've seen it with at least one of the airlines. B. Martin, thank you so much for the super sticker, and thank you for watching Royal Sussex. Let me see. Together, our mission is to provide travelers with Transparent, accountable information empowering you to make more sustainable choices. So Harry doesn't make a big deal out of this. He just does it. He's not spending a lot of time trying to get royal rodents to constantly leak this information to draw attention to himself. The attention is basically on the Travalyst itself. And yeah, so you rarely hear Harry even mentioned or associated with it unless it's the squaddies doing it. Rick, thank you so much for the super sticker and thank you for watching Royal Sussex. Prince Harry is on a mission to transform the travel industry. The Duke of Sussex is in Amsterdam today, and this is from 2019, by the way, to officially launch Travalyst, a new program that aims to explore and improve conservation efforts at tourist destinations around the world, tackle climate change, and help local communities grow economically. So I thought that the reason why they were always dragging Harry about, the occasional private jet, even though the Cambridges and the Clarence House people were on and off of those things constantly. Um, I thought it was just because they were being shady. I didn't really associate that with the fact that Travalyst is something that is going to have a larger and larger impact as time goes by. And I think they just want to try to preempt the success that Harry will experience, and of course, the applause that he will receive. I think they want to preempt that with a bunch of negativity because they know that this is a huge, monumental step toward a better environment. Thank you, Elaine Parker, for the super sticker, and thank you for watching Royal Sussex. Happy Memorial Day to you. Travalyst is the first endeavor to fall under the umbrella of Harry and Duchess Meghan's new charitable foundation, Sussex Royal. See that? Sussex Royal Foundation. The prince spent more than 2 years working on the ambitious project with partners Booking.com, Skyscanner, Ctrip, TripAdvisor, and Visa. Travel has the unparalleled power to open people's minds to different cultures, new experiences, and to have a profound appreciation for what our world has to offer. The prince said in a statement, as tourism inevitably grows, it is critically important to accelerate the adaptation of sustainable practices worldwide and to balance this growth with the need of the environment and the local population, bringing companies, consumers, and communities together is our best chance to protect destinations and ecosystems for future generations. Like, for instance, the national parks in Africa. There is a lot of pressure put on those areas because of the tourism. And of course, the goal is to make it sustainable, to make it profitable for the people who are the natives to these various locations around the world, and also to protect the environment. So it's a bunch of things going on there. All of it is really necessary, and if people are not careful, they are going to, drive extinctions that will make these places obsolete because there won't be a need to go there because they're going to lose a lot of habitat and a lot of the native life. So all of those things are important. So that's why I say this is so monumental. And even though Harry doesn't make a big fuss about it, um, the impact of it will affect a lot of people, and especially when it comes to making sure that some of the money that is generated actually goes to help support the families that call these places home. So very good idea. So Harry deserves a lot of credit for the Travalyst, and even though like I said, he doesn't make a big fuss about it. This is going to be one of the things that people are, how they go on and on about Charles saying that the environment and plastics and all that kind of stuff. This is going to totally eclipse that in time. I promise you. Huh. I had to have a drink of water. Okay. So on to the next thing. So here you have, I had to be a little shady. So here you have Camilla Tominey, the Easter Island head of the Royal Rota, one of the most volatile people I've ever seen in life. Someone who is so capable of just making up stuff on the fly. It is breathtaking to listen to her. I guess fib, lie, you name it. So anyway, I had forgot about this. I had totally forgot about it. And when I got here, I'm just like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. Um, anyway, so you have Camilla. Okay, you know what? Let me just get to the soundbite. John Cleese had some very, very nice things to say about this. Well, he had a very nice thing to say about the Sussex.
Completely demolished the Daily Mail guy who was in charge of finance.
Although some of the late entries,
They've been so powerful for so long that they sort of felt that the rules didn't apply to them. So I went along because I wanted to hear what was going on in that particular case. And I saw a very clever barrister called Sherman completely demolish the Daily Mail guy who was in charge of finance.
Although some of the late entries, some of the witnesses that Hugh Grant and indeed Prince Harry wanted to call to some of the other trials have not been allowed. I mean, do you have
there were two of those, and they were very late, and they were not allowed on the grounds that it would take the trial too long. The judge was trying to keep the schedule.
Yes.
But they don't need those anyway. They were just extras. They've got plenty on the Mirror, and they're going to, I think, destroy the Mirror, which is at the top level a good thing. And I hope they replace them with good people.
Okay, so she tried to spin this idea about Harry and a couple of the other people bringing information a little too late, a lot too late. And John Cleese disabused her of any notion that they were not able to be effective because of that. John Cleese reminded her that what they had was superfluous. It was not necessary. It was just a little extra. The judge wanted to keep the trial on a tight schedule. And so for that reason, the judge said that some of the complaints were not admissible. But by and large, John Cleese said he thought that Harry's attorney, Shelbourne, was quite talented. He just, it was kind of hard to hear him, but he definitely said Shelbourne, which of course is the attorney that is representing Harry and I suppose the rest of the group. But anyway, let me continue. But yeah, she tried to throw, to try to downplay the trial by saying that they said this information was too late. But this is why it was important for John Cleese to be there, because had he not seen that for himself, and had he not seen Shelbourne, if I'm saying his name right, in action, he said, I've never seen did he say barrister? He said, I've never seen a barrister as talented as him, or whatever he said. But here, let me finish.
You talked about the right-wing press, but obviously the Mirror is very left-wing. So you're saying you talked about the right-wing press, but, but the Mirror is obviously very left-wing. So you think that they're also culpable?
Well, the standard of the morality, you see, I'm old, I'm 83, and I remember what the press was like when I first became well-known in 66. They were a decent bunch. If they made a mistake, they were slightly embarrassed about it. Now they don't give a damn. They really don't.
Do you sympathise with Harry and Meghan then?
I do have sympathy for them, yes. If I had to choose who to have dinner with out of the royal family or ex-royal family, I would choose them, yes.
You wouldn't choose Princess Anne?
Oh, yes, she's great. Sorry, I forgot that.
No.
Yeah, I've met her a couple of times on Celebrity Knockout, I think it was. They've been so powerful for so long. They really don't.
Do you sympathise with Harry and Meghan then?
I do have sympathy for them, yes. If I had to choose who to have dinner with out of the royal family or ex-royal family, I would choose them, yes.
You wouldn't choose Princess Anne?
Oh, yes, she's great. Sorry, I forgot that.
No.
Yeah, I've met her a couple of times on Celebrity Knockout, I think it was. They've been so powerful for so long that they sort of felt...
Okay, so as he said, if I had a choice of having dinner with a royal or ex-royal or whomever, I would choose Harry and Meghan. And so just to make sure, boy, I tell you, she's a clever one, ain't she? Just to make sure that we didn't leave it with something positive about Prince Harry and the Princess Meghan, she had to throw a Princess Anne in there. She's very clever, you guys. I mean, like her or not, she's very good at what she does. She always finds some kind of way to put a spin or to spit out some type of lie in a situation that will make her case or to shape the conversation the way she wants it. Very clever, very clever. Probably, I would say I would put her right on par with Kellyanne Conway. I would put her right on par with a Kellyanne Conway. Kellyanne has a look of her own, so I'm not even going to go there. But yeah, so Big Head Tomini, she wouldn't leave well enough alone. What about Princess Anne? Lisa, thank you so much. Was it Lisa D? Lisa D, thank you so much for the super sticker, and thank you for watching Royal Sussex. But yeah, so that was John Cleese sitting down with that Easter Island head, Camilla Tomini. And, I like John Cleese because he does not suffer fools lightly. He says what he means, and he means what he says. And as he said back in the 1960s, when he first became famous, he said that the press was, pretty decent. If they made a mistake, they honestly felt bad about it. He said, now they don't give a damn. If they make a mistake, they tell a lie. Whatever they do, they don't care. It doesn't matter how they mistreat a person. Is just them being the press nowadays. So, and I could believe that. I think the whole Royal Rota system is what has given such life to the tabloid media of today compared to whatever it was back then. It is so much worse. And as people's attentions are being pulled away from a daily newspaper, or even, spending time with those same papers online, there is such a variety of places for people to go. I'm always so amazed at the variety of things online, and the fact that you can go in a room or on a train or any place and everybody's looking down at their phone. Everybody's got their phone, and everybody's looking down at their phone. So it's a much different time from when John Cleese emerged on the scene back in the 60s. But yeah, I'm glad I caught this conversation. So the official chaplain of Royal Sussex, good evening, Baron, moderators, squatty family. God bless you all on this blessed evening. Thank you so much, Jacqueline Squash, the official chaplain of Royal Sussex. Very powerful prayers from Jacqueline. All right, so on to the next thing. Thank you very much. So the Sussex Squad Detective Agency, as you know, the Sussex Squad Detective Agency is always finding receipts. And so just as I was working on the slides with Harry, and I found out today was JFK's birthday, I was also looking into that conversation with John Cleese. And notice I didn't say Sir John. I guess he'll probably never get an honor, and probably doesn't want it. Anyway, here's the receipt. After Sussex Oceania tour, the Meghan Made Kate Cry was published by Tammany on November 26th. On November 23rd, she wrote an article linking Hub Kitchen to terrorists. And on November 30th, Carol Middleton gave her first ever interview calling herself a hurricane after Meghan was called that. So it really goes to show that if all these things line up as mentioned here, because I didn't have a chance to go and fact check these, full disclosure, but we do know that these things did happen for the most part. That being considered, thank you, first of all, to the squaddies for always finding these receipts. And one of the problems for the tabloid media, for the royal rodents and the rest of their ilk, is the fact that the Sussex Squad is very good when it comes to recall. And so, you know, it's very rare that I don't actually vet things, but I, you know, in time for today, I didn't want to go any later. So here we are. The thing is, as Harry said, after the Oceania tour, things changed. Well, that is a fact. And that when they would say, oh, Harry always looks so pensive when he's around Meghan. He always, whenever they go places, this is why. This is why, because when Harry watched the Oceania tour unfold as they move throughout, you know, New Zealand, Australia, and all the other places, he realized what was waiting at home. Experience, as they say, is a good teacher. And he realized, you're making this look too easy. And so Meghan, just being herself and being 100% committed to the cause, I believe that when Meghan said, I do, when Meghan had conversations about their future as president and vice president of the Commonwealth and such, I think Meghan is the ultimate team player. When she gets in there, she exceeds expectations. She works hard. She takes notes. She writes letters. She problem solves. And these are traits that are not consistent with the royal family. The royal family just shows up. The only person that I think could have ever matched Meghan's abilities in that family is the one that she married to. Otherwise, everything is, you know, royal aides. Things are delegated and contracted out. They don't do a lot of their own thinking. And that's just a fact. And as much as I like to say Charles has a vision for things, he does have a vision. But the hands-on stuff, I would be impressed. I would be surprised or impressed, or actually, I'd be very curious to know exactly how hands-on is he. Is he just an idea and a lot of money, or is he truly a great manager? I don't know. But the Sussexes, I am here to tell you for sure, they are the real deal when it comes to following up on their commitments. When it comes to rolling your sleeves up, they are the real deal. And so they, suppressed Harry for years. And had he not left that institution, we would have never seen how far he was able to fly without being held back by that institution. So good match, the two of them. And their spirit of commitment, identical, unstoppable. So I'm not surprised to see something like this. We do know something changed after the Oceania tour. Harry said that things changed. And when they came back, nothing was ever the same again. And there was actually a scene like that in the Crown when they made this big fuss about Charles going to Wales and speaking Welsh, and what a big impression that he made on the crowd. And then he gets back to Windsor Castle, and instead of being received like a hero, he comes back and not Windsor Castle, it was Buckingham Palace. He comes back home to Buckingham Palace, and barely anything was said about it. It was totally downplayed. Now, as you know, we don't know what the actual events were, but it's not inconsistent with that family and the way they treated Princess Diana and the way they have always treated each other. They just get on with it. There is no, recognition or anything like that I am aware of. So if that is consistent with the way they depicted Charles returning from Wales, if that's the way the Sussexes were treated after the Oceania tour, then yeah, that I could see why things became increasingly difficult for the two of them, because they're stars. They're stars, and everything that they touch is greatly improved. And I think it proved embarrassing for the rest of the family because you're just not allowed to outshine them. They won't have it. So now, Professor Melissa Murray, take a look in the background. You can see that little addition to her room. It seems to, I think this is a different location from where I've seen her interviewed before. But as you notice behind her, there's a bookshelf that seems to have a few things that she's very proud of, or little conversation pieces and stuff. And of course, to the Sussex Squad, there's one piece in particular that probably catches your notice. And that, of course, is, let me see if I can find it. Oh, wait. There we go. Here we go. All right. Maybe this will refresh your memory.
Round because I can't get it out of my mind. Melissa, to you first. I'm looking in the upper right hand behind you. Is that a giant picture of Meghan Markle? And I also want to know, on your pineapple pillow, what does it say?
So I think the pineapple pillow is a room raider pillow. And yes, that is a giant head of Meghan Markle.
That's fantastic. And to Jackie, you know the question coming.
So yes, Melissa Murray has a big giant photo of Meghan in her office. And then I've seen the Team Sussex plaque before, but it seems like it has moved. So cheers to Melissa Murray for being a squatty. Oh man, I love her. And also, she was at the Vision of Hope Awards that night. She was there, and she posted some images of it. Now, let's get on to the Middletons. Princess of Wales parents leave taxpayers in the red as businesses sold. Well, we talked about that, right? But one of the squatties that felt in the mood to drag says Duchess of Cambridge's brother, James Middleton, failed to pay, firm owes £800,000. £800,000. So last year it was James Middleton, and now it's the parents. Anyways, it must be nice to have the British taxpayers for your daughter's lifestyle. I'm sorry, to pay for your daughter's lifestyle and then pay for your business loans when you become bankrupt. Where's Uncle Gary's money when you need it? Well, it actually had a little something else that was there, but I decided to eliminate one of the words and just stick with money. I had to remove a word. So if you are the squatty that posted that, I just want you to know that one of those words are not ready for prime time. So while in spirit, I agree with you, the forces down at the platform, they would find that a bit worrisome. So I had to omit one of those words, but so just so you know, I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just being practical. I have to protect the platform. So, but yeah, so where is that money when you need it? So that is to imply, oh, you know what? I just noticed how red Michael Middleton's cheeks are. I wonder if he enjoys a little tonic every now and again. Maybe both of them. Now, I heard that they had met at BA, but it looks more like they met at AA, doesn't it? I'm just kidding. I don't know. But yeah, instead of meeting at BA, British Airways, it looked like they met at AA. And I don't mean American Airlines. Oh, man. So, but some financier has purchased Party Pieces, and he said that it needed an entrepreneurial approach or something like that. He was saying that basically he was saying you just need to pour some money and invest in it or something. But Party Pieces may not be dead. It may be coming back. But then again, it kind of looked like some kind of quid pro quo to me, but how would I know? So, and of course, there's Ma and Pa Middleton thinking about what was but will never be, or what could be. And well, anyway, they are broke. I ain't got the change of a nickel. Ain't got no bounce in my shoes. Ain't got no fancy to tickle. I ain't got nothing but the blues. Ain't got no coffee that's perking. Oh, man. When I look at that picture, I always think of that song. I ain't got nothing but the blues. Ain't got no telephone numbers. I ain't got nothing but the blues. So yeah, how much does it cost to get those daughters married off to money like that? Well, you got one that is married to a billionaire, And then the other one is married into that multi-billionaire royal family, the Windsors. So I guess it costs a lot. You have to speculate to accumulate. The only thing is, it doesn't seem like they're getting much money for their efforts. So, you know, when you go through that trouble, there should be some huge payoff. Now, I've already told you guys many times that when Kate goes to her coronation, my Middleton will be there with her old trolley that she used working at British Airways, her old air hostess trolley, and she is going to serve beverages at the coronation to try to, you know, make up for some of the money that they lost trying to get that old misfit in there, that Wadey Katie, trying to get her into that family. So, you know, paying for the right schools. I would say paying for the right clothes, but that would be assuming a lot, wouldn't it? But yeah, so Ma and Pa Middleton, their fortunes have gone into a downward spiral. And I don't want you guys to think that I'm laughing at them. I'm laughing about them. And there's a difference. I'm not laughing at them. I'm laughing about them. Woo! I'm laughing about them. And then also, I have to mention something from yesterday. So yesterday, I said that I believed that they're so po that she has been wearing Kate's clothes, but I think it was, what's her name, the lady with the YouTube channel, Constance something. Constance says, you know, I'm not an expert, but she says, I have a frame more like Carol and not like Kate. So I don't believe that they are wearing the same clothes. So, you know, I guess that makes sense because Carol seems to be a little beefier, and it would be kind of, but then again, Kate doesn't really fill out the clothes. You know what I mean? Kate has almost non-existent hips. So, and Carol tends to fill things out a little bit more. So, yeah, Meredith Constance, thank you. Can't believe we're having this conversation, but my Middleton is, you know, a little heavier than Kate. Kate, I think, is a little taller, but otherwise, they both are capable of buying some pretty unflattering frocks, that's for sure. But yeah, I thought it was a matter of money that she was raiding her daughter's closet, but maybe they just find a good sale and decide they'll both have it. I don't know. Anyway. Oh, man. What is that? What is that? Let me see. Is this what you're talking about? They still have not told the story of the missing jewelry, which cost 80,000. What is it? 80 million? This happened after Queen's funeral. I don't know. I haven't heard about that. I have not heard about that. I mean, I heard something about jewelry. Is that what they were talking about? Michael Miller says, Baron, they can never be broke when you have a son worth $1 billion and a daughter who has nothing to do but spend his money. Yeah, I mean, a lot of those large estates do come with several cottages, you know, a little mother-in-law's house and all that kind of stuff. So I'm pretty sure they got some money socked away somewhere, even though I'm having fun with this. But how broke could they possibly be? How broke could they possibly be? Or do you think they possibly want the Royal Lodge for the Middletons? Wouldn't that be something if the Middletons moved into the Royal Lodge? You know, it would make sense because that is the future queen's mother. And if they are broke, if they are skint, pinched, penniless, if they are really that broke, you got to put them somewhere. You can't put them in council housing, even though they look like they just walked out of council housing. You can't really put them in council housing. They have to have someplace suitable for the future queen. Now, that's assuming that she will be the future queen. But anyway, it couldn't have happened to two of the nicest people. I'm sure they're very nice. As a matter of fact, usually when people are broke, they do get pretty nice. It's when they have a lot that some of them can be absolutely cruel. So right here it says Royal Wedding, Middleton money. How was it made? The firm Party Pieces is credited with making the family fortune. Well, I don't know. We had to run that past Uncle Gary. I don't know. People are assuming Uncle Gary has something to do with it, but I'm not going to go down that alley. I'm going to stay out of it. Manina, thank you so much for the super sticker, and thank you so much for watching Royal Sussex, and also for Yellow T-shirt guy. Let me see. Oh, really? Baron, yesterday they reported that jewelry was missing, but nothing since. Something is wrong with this picture because of the amount of this jewelry belonging to the Queen. What? What? I didn't see that. Let me see. Royal jewelry missing? I didn't see anything about that. Okay. It says right here in The Guardian, official jewelry gifts to royals worth 80 million are not in the national collection. Palace refuses to explain why the official state gifts worn by Princess of Wales and Camilla are not in the royal collection. Buckingham Palace is refusing to explain why 11 pieces of jewelry potentially worth 80 million pounds that were official gifts to the royals are not held in a trove of the national heritage. The jewelry, which have been worn by Queen Elizabeth, Camilla, and the Queen Consort, and Catherine, the Princess of Wales, are not contained in the royal collection. The custodian of culturally significant items held in trust for the nation, that is. The piece includes a set of aquamarine jewelry, 4 brooches, 6 necklaces, including an extraordinary Cartier necklace of emerald and brilliant cut diamonds worth at least 40 million pounds given to the late Queen by an Indian prince. Wow. Okay. You know, that was one of those articles that came out from The Guardian, and that was when every day they were trying to see if they could rid the nation of the royal family to try to embarrass them off of the throne. Didn't work, but oh boy, I tell you, the Guardian really sang for their supper before the coronation. I must admit, that was like my best day since Christmas. Woo! Okay, so now I somewhat recall those stories. Yes, Sonia Johnson, it was in a flurry of stories that came out at the time, but I remember it, but I just didn't remember the 80 million pound part. But yeah, that was like, they had 5 articles a day for how long? But that was a big one. Black Queen says, I kept telling them to look for those stolen blood jewels behind horsemen. Hind mane. Mumbles tongue. Well, like I said, the Middletons, I tell you what, if they start making some big purchases, like an estate somewhere or something of that, then we'll know. Because one thing's for sure, the royal family is not going to bail them out. They will not. The queen got a little soft in her old age, but typically they kind of hang on to that money. But thank you so much, Black Queen. Yeah, they hang on to that money. Very much tied into the estate. So right there it says Kate Middleton's mom is under fire for bad business practices. Kate Middleton may more or less be immune to criticism, especially since Meghan showed up, but her parents are not. Specifically, her mother, Carol Middleton. Recently, Kate's parents came under fire for running what many feel are shoddy business practices. Right now, apparently, Kate's parents' business party pieces has been dropping the ball left and right lately, and customers aren't happy. It says here, taking the opportunity to unpack their feelings, customers took to social media to express their disappointment with with Kate's mom business on the party. Oh God, I'm so tired of saying party pieces. On the party pieces Instagram account, one mom detailed her shambolic experience with the company. Shambolic, huh? Shambolic experience, she wrote. Please give yourself the trouble and order. I'm sorry, please save yourself. Oh, what am I doing? Please save yourself the trouble and order elsewhere. We ordered a personalized banner for our son's birthday weeks ago and still haven't received it. Instead, we received another customer's order who lives 3 hours away and has also had issues with this company. When both the customer whose items I received and I complained, we were promised that new items would be sent out and with us the next day. Neither of us received our orders. Gasp. Well, you know what? If her mama wasn't so busy running around yelling at everybody and making them miss their dental appointments and stuff like that, then maybe the employees would take better care to provide good customer service. Because from what I hear, the Middletons are some pretty rough people to work for. Let me see, where is that? Oh, there it is right there. Finger clicking Carol Middleton's mom. I'm sorry, Kate Middleton's mom. Carol bombards staff with 71 emails. Now, this came out in 2019. 71 emails a day and docks their pay for going to the dentist. Disgruntled former party pieces employees claim Miss Middleton would shun those who disagreed with her. So she doesn't like any input. She loves to send emails, probably at 5 a.m. And so it seems to reflect in their business practices, allegedly. And of course, the Cambridges aren't much better because, as you can see here, poor Sadie Rice had to quit because they were trying to work her to no end and she wasn't having it. So she just quit. I mean, who quits a job like that? Well, if you're working for the Cambridges at the time, probably anybody. It was hard for them to keep help because of how nasty and cruel they allegedly were. So, shady, pitiful, And of course, that conspiracy in Kensington Palace to, drive the Sussexes away, I'm sure that didn't help. So you got all that stuff going on. So like mother, like daughter, like father, like son, the whole family, they seem to be a bit dodgy. And now it's all coming out. It's all coming out. Okay. And then there's this. So before, we didn't see any photos with any type of handshakes or anything like that. Well, now that the gloves are off, because see, look, this is from the other day. Here's the article from the Mirror, right? That's the Mirror. That's the article from the Mirror, who seems to have it in for Kate. I will admit, they do seem to have it in for Kate. But the Daily Mail, who, of course, seems to be closer to you-know-who, and you guys know who they seem to be close to. They seem to be a lot closer with Camilla. Well, the Daily Mail decided to go a step further and show them shaking hands. Looking each other in the eye. Well, and it's a pretty sad story. My mom and dad never got over it. Sister of man stabbed to death in 1979 by boss of children's charity, supported by the Princess of Wales, speaks out after photos emerged of ex-con, now 60, meeting Kate. And notice who's cropped out of the photo. Did you guys notice who's cropped out of this photo? Kate, you better run, girl, because they got it in for you. Notice that Willie's not even in the photo. Did you guys see that? Take a look here. Where's Willie? Where's Willie? Willie is cropped out of the photo. That is the same occasion. Now, the top that she's wearing in these Daily Mail photos, I don't want to believe that they changed the tinting on the photos. But if you look, Lydia, I tell you guys, you all don't know how kind and loving Lydia is. Lydia takes pity on just about anybody. She's been saying from day one they should leave that man alone. He paid his debt to society. And now they are dragging him so that they could go after so they could go after Kate. But listen. Kate is wearing this same outfit. Now, the tone of it looks different in the Mirror, but notice that very odd pleat. Well, you know they got that pleat down the front because, as you know, Kate tends to laugh and smile a lot. And you know how sometimes people get kind of careless and they start having that little dribble going. You know what I'm saying? They get that's in case she has a little bit of a dribble. Because sometimes she gets a little excited, you know, all that laughing and grinning and smiling and stuff. So in case she has a little dribble going down the front, that's why they put that there, to catch that dribble. So anyway, so I'm telling you, that is the same visit. That's the same outfit. Now, you know, it's kind of unusual for them to take their coats off in public, but because she's not wearing the coat dress and because of all that dribble and salivating, they had to take the coat off of her, right? But fortunately, they got that little extra pleat to catch that dribble. So anyway, it's just rather odd that in the mirror, William is there, but move over to the Daily Mail, and voila, William has totally disappeared. Now, how did that happen? Where is William meeting Kate? But isn't Kate married, right? And when she was on this call, did she not go with her husband? Now you see his hand, right? But you don't see him. Where's Willie? Where's Willie? Willie was there, but they want to disassociate him with they want to disassociate him with the charity slasher. They want to disassociate him with the charity boss slasher. So for that reason, they only show his hand, so it could be anybody there. They changed the tone of her top, right? And the only way I know is the same occasion is because they got that little pleat there to catch the dribble. So if Kate, if there's anybody who's close to Kate, please warn her about this. Please let her know that they have gone through the trouble of telling the story about the charity boss slasher again, but this time they have completely eliminated William from the story. William wasn't even there. The only thing that represents William is that clammy, sweaty, nasty hand of his that keeps rubbing that bald spot. Otherwise, you wouldn't even know he was there. So, yeah, very interesting. Very interesting the way that this plays out. I smell a fix. And yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. Somebody needs to call.
Police! 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 Help! Police! Help! Police! Help! Help! Police! Help!
Yeah, you know what? I could write for one of the tabloids, the charity boss slasher. YM Droid says they also didn't mention Kate was what was that, caught 7 flies. They didn't mention Kate caught 7 flies. Oh my goodness. Well, that's that reptilian DNA. But thank you so much, YM Droid. Oh, the charity boss slasher. Yeah, and you know what, you guys, Lydia's right. This man has paid his debt to society. He was young. It was a youthful indiscretion. And I would say that I want him to receive a comparable justice that any person of African descent would have received. But if I say that, he would never see the light of day. He would never have another job. So, well, anyway, if indeed, and I'm sure that he probably doesn't even drink anymore or anything like that since that happened. It is a shame. to get after Kate. Yet again, the tabloids are ruining another person's life. But that's what they do. Do you guys remember when they found out that Harry and Meghan danced to Wilson Pickett at their wedding reception? And then all of a sudden, there's a big spread in the Daily Mail about Wilson Pickett, his drug use, his drug history, his arrest record, all that kind of stuff. So that is how the tabloids work. So you know what? If you guys are listening for the first time and you're new to all this stuff, or if you're a hate watcher, do understand the tabloids that you applaud for going after the Sussexes, they literally ruin people's lives, and that is true. Yeah. Let me see here. Oh, no. You know, Terry, if they come out with an article finding some connection to the Middleton family, I'm through. I am through. If they do try to find some kind of connection to the Middleton family, wait, what did I miss? Let me see. Lydia, I agree. I'm super empathetic and all for second chances. However, I would go out of my way for this guy. Look who he is associated. Oh, what is that? Yeah. Okay. All right. Thank you for that, Black Queen. Well, you know, what happened though? Excuse me. What happened with him and his friends and stuff on the train? I hate to say it, but that could have happened to anyone of that age group at that time. And here in the U.S., unfortunately, a lot of times when situations like that happen, is more lethal than this situation. So it is a shame. And when you get right down to it, there is a family that has been torn apart. It is like somebody has thrown a grenade into the family dinner. And so yeah, like I say, even though I'm making light of the situation, I haven't overlooked that fact. And as for also we shouldn't overlook that all of this is happening because for whatever reason somebody decided it's time to go after Kitty. I don't know who would do such a thing. I don't know who would have leaked that information that should have been known some time ago. But for whatever reason, at a time and place of their choosing, somebody has decided to sing like Aretha Franklin. So, and the charity boss is going to pay the price for it. Teresa McDougall, thank you so much for the super sticker, and thank you for watching Royal Sussex. And of course, let us not forget some of these people that have, paid their debt to society, they have families now. Now, here's a little something for you. So the Kate Rangers, the derangers as we call them, they are getting a little upset with the way that some of y'all are pointing out some of those natural flaws of Kate's that have totally to do with the aging process. It's not like she has gone to any extremes to change her appearance or anything like that I know of. But anyway, because they are a little sensitive about their Katie, they decided to start using the Photoshop and filters and such. But I think that the pendulum has swung too far in the other direction. That makes Kate look like she's in college, like she just got her first job out of college. Not the mother of three and the wicked princess of Wales that we know of. No. So Kate Rangers, the Rangers, people who support the Cambridges and the Waleses or whatever, please stop. This bears no resemblance to Kate in any way, except, I don't know, subtly. That's not Kate today. Very subtle. Oh, okay. I think, well, I was going to say the hair color, but no, that's not true either, because that hair color is kind of a light auburn, whereas the real Kate's hair is kind of like muskrat brown. So, yeah, that's not even accurate. Clarissa Montgomery, thank you so much for the super sticker, and thank you for watching Royal Sussex. King Charles turns down thermostat at Buckingham Palace swimming pool in a bid to reduce the royal household energy use. The king is keen to achieve net zero emissions in royal household before 2050. How many properties do they have? And how many rooms do they heat and air condition? How many people do they have on staff? This is like taking a Dixie cup and trying to empty the Great Lakes. This is like taking a bucket and trying to empty the Atlantic Ocean. I just don't know how far you'll get. I think it, and heat the pool for who? Who's using the Buckingham Palace swimming pool? Who's leaving their government provided, Crown Estate provided property to go over to Buckingham Palace, where none of the royals live at this time? Charles doesn't live there. Nobody has taken up residence in Buckingham Palace since the Queen. So exactly who's going over to Buckingham Palace to use the swimming pool? Do they leave it for the staff? Why is the pool even heated? This is so stupid. I mean, just absolutely ridiculous. Next. Battle of Brothers, as Prince of Wales is dubbed the DILF. I guess it's like MILF. By swooning royal fans, female explorers, that of course is the magazine within the Daily Mail, female explores how William has usurped Harry's crown as the heartthrob of the royal family. Gaslight. Royal fans went wild over William's tribute to Charles at Coronation concert. Well, listen, I did point out at William haven't looked that good in a while. His suit fit him amazingly. But aside from that, it was still William. So I didn't pick a bunch of photos to try to, take the steam out of this. But take a look at the graph that they used. Harry versus William, Battle of the Brothers. So these are the things that they list that are not sexy, and these are the things that they list that are sexy. So rather than saying that not sexy would include William's bald head, they decided to go for Harry's male pattern baldness first. And then they said Harry faced a period where he was this very awkward teenager. And then they decided to say William starts losing hair. Starts? William was the first. What do you mean William starts losing hair? Why even say start? Why throw start in there? Are you kidding me? And then, of course, Polo playing William. And then, of course, dad mode William. All right, so what's hot? William at university. Not William now, but they're saying that William has won, right? But everything about William is about who he used to be, not who he is. And then, of course, there's no competition for Harry in the military, none. And then, of course, you got William at his wedding. Seriously? Seriously? Come on now. Everybody knows that Harry rocked that uniform at that wedding. As a matter of fact, Harry was wearing the uniform that the Queen refused to allow William to wear, right? William wanted to wear that uniform for his wedding, and the Queen said no. So he wasn't allowed. Okay, and then the party prince. That is just a dig at Harry, because over the years, as you know, there was all of these stories about Harry at parties that William was likely there as well. But of course, William wasn't allowed to look bad, so they decided to throw Harry under the bus. And of course, when I think about who would do something like that, who would sit there and deliberately leak information to the tabloid media about Harry, totally ignoring William? Who would do such a never mind. Anyway, I just answered my own question. And then, of course, William's bulging biceps. Did they not see the video of Harry at the on the James Corden show? Have they seen the way Harry feels out of suit? The way Harry looks in a t-shirt? Or just the way Harry looks? No, and no. Now, again, I could have pulled out a bunch of photos. And let me just tell you this much. You guys, don't waste your time going to look for this article, because the article is filled with flattering photos of William and usually the worst photos of Harry that they could find. I repeat, the most flattering photos of William and the worst possible photos of Harry. I'm going to revisit this when I have more time to, do some shopping and comparing photos. But this right here is a total, somebody's licking boots with the tongues wagging down on all fours, licking somebody's boots to have put this article together. It is so misleading, so nonsensical that I'm just like, what was the point of it? I just don't understand what was the point of it. And then take a look at the background where you can see the image of Harry in the not category, and they put William. William? Okay, let me do this. And you know how people say, well, he might as well just go ahead and cut all his hair off. This is what Harry sees when he looks in the mirror. Harry doesn't see himself from the back. He sees himself from the front. And he's fully pleased with his little shadows of hair up there. And that is why he keeps it. It's somebody else's problem, not his. And if he likes it, I love it. And that's all to it. But on any day of the week, I don't care how you slice it, awkward teens or not, this is like so ridiculous. Even the way Harry walks, the way he carries himself, the way he acts around people, there is nothing that William could ever do that will compare to that. Sorry, but it's totally misleading. It's ridiculous. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Harry wins through and through, and they know it. So why even waste people's time like that? So silly. Silly wabbit. Twix are for kids. Susie, Mom, thank you so much for the super sticker. And let me see here. Did I miss one? Teresa McDougall, thank you for the super sticker. I'm sorry if I missed you, but thank you so much for the super sticker. Okay, I think I'm caught up. Yes, I am caught up. Thank you so much. Yeah, so whoever wrote that article, I would suggest that they go get their eyes checked or something. But they really are stretching it here. Now, speaking of a stretch, this is poor, what's his name, McCarthy, the Speaker of the House. Anyway, the Speaker of the House, the one who took over for Nancy Pelosi, who succeeded Nancy Pelosi. He's a Republican. And anyway, he is suffering under the strain of a supposedly senile old man who has been mopping the floor with him. Mopping the floor. Poor McCarthy sitting there, having been totally taken to the woodshed by that old, what is it, octogenarian? What do you call it when they're in their 80s? Joe Biden, Sleepy Joe. Well, when Joe wakes up, it's hell to pay. Let me remind you guys of this moment. This is the State of the Union when Sleepy Joe managed to get a commitment on camera in front of everybody in the world to get those Republicans to promise that they will not tamper with Social Security. And some of the people in the crowd on the other side of the room there, they were looking around like, what you talking about? What you talking about? And then, of course, after the State of the Union, there was a flood of videos where you could see Republicans speaking to their constituents and at fundraisers where they said, yeah, and we're going to get rid of that Social Security. Yeah, we're going to privatize that Social Security. And Joe Biden even said at the time, if you don't believe me, look for yourselves. Well, we didn't have to look. Other people found the information. So Sleepy Joe was at the Arlington National Cemetery today at the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier with Vice President Kamala Harris and Austin Lloyd, and I don't know who the other guy is, but I believe he is the outgoing chairman of the Joint Chiefs. But anyway, so yeah, you have the defense secretary and some big brass person there. And this is where Harry laid that wreath with the poppies, I believe. So that is the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. And there is quite a show that they put on there when they do the changing of the guards. And even though it only involves 2 soldiers, it is something to behold. If you guys haven't seen it, it is amazing. But yeah, so there you go. That was from today. And of course, by the way, let me show you this. As you can see, Joe Biden seems like he has this very heavy frown on his face. Chances are he's trying to contain his grief because, as you know, his son, was it Bo? I always mixed them up. Yeah, I think it was Bo. Bo or Hunter? Bo. Anyway, his son, the veteran, who was the Attorney General of Vermont, was it? Anyway, he died from a brain tumor, and there is a large number of soldiers that have served in Afghanistan and Iraq that have suffered from these unusual cancers, most likely due to the burn pits. And Joe Biden even found some funding to do research into that. But apparently exposure to these toxic smoke from the burn pits have caused a lot of cancer. And so he probably considers his son the war dead, as opposed to just someone who had some cancer. This was likely caused by his time in the military. And so it's no, surprise that he would be terribly emotional at a time like this. So very cruel person or persons on the internet was saying, what's wrong with him? Why does he look like that? Well, his son died. So there you go. Gil S., thank you so much for the super sticker, and thank you for watching Royal Sussex. And of course, in closing today, and we have reached the end of Royal Sussex, let us remember the contribution of the African Americans who bravely served this country, and in so many cases thought that they were going to go back and to their homes and appreciate a newfound freedom, having served this country again and again and again, only to find themselves being treated worse because, of the fact that they had some stature within the community as a veteran. There were so many occasions when, from the Civil War all the way up to the Second World War and the Vietnam, Korea, you name it, there's always been this pushback against Black veterans. So let us not forget their contribution. Okay. And so with that, let me see. Jenny Rock Bailey, thank you so much for the super sticker, and thank you for watching Royal Sussex. And so with that, you guys, thank you so much for watching Royal Sussex. I will see you all tomorrow, hopefully earlier rather than later, although I kind of got the feeling that I'm going to have another all-nighter because I still haven't finished that work that I need to do. But I hope not. I hope I can sleep sooner so I can wake up sooner. But I was having some trouble with my computer, and it's kind of hard to explain. But anyway, as a matter of fact, doggone it, I wish I would have done the update on the computer. I'm going to do that now. But I'm going to do the update, so maybe that little glitch will go away. But thank you, everyone. Happy Memorial Day to you all. Again, remember those who have bravely served this country. And, to anyone who is not from the United States, don't forget to remember those who fought for freedom in your countries. All right, so thank you very much. And Buffalo Soldier, right? Yeah, as a matter of fact, that's exactly what it is. Where is it? That I have a bunch of these black and white photos, and I just chose 3 of them rather than trying to go and try to find everyone I could find. Not to mention, barren black soldiers were frequently denied the GI Bill, which propelled white men into the middle class and white families into the suburbs. That is so true, John Youngblood. We spoke about that before, remember? But yeah, what John is speaking of is the GI Bill is what was used to educate and uplift the white soldiers. And the way they were able to easily deny this money to African Americans is that the money was distributed by the individual states. It was not distributed by the federal government. And so to be eligible for it, to know about it, to have access to it, if you lived in communities where, Black people would always get the short end of the stick, the schools were underfunded, et cetera, chances are that money was not made available. So that generational wealth, that investment into the middle class was not available to Black people. So if you had a dream about being an engineer or a school teacher or a doctor or a lawyer, You didn't have a GI Bill to help you with your education. You didn't have a GI Bill to ensure that you got a good home loan. And that, of course, is one reason why people are saying reparations, because Black people fought in those wars just like everybody else. You know, we've had our own version of the Windrush. They went to poor, impoverished Black communities and not so poor Black communities. And they made this big push to get Black people to go and fight these wars. And then after the fact, you know, they tried to deny them the benefits. So same thing happened here, where they pretend like they don't know you. They know you when you need it, but after the fact, you might as well be invisible. So thanks for that reminder. Greatly appreciate it. All right, you guys, and to our queens, thank you so much. And our last word of the day. Let me see. There you go. There you go. The GI Bill, the FHA, that's the home loan, right? And VA, which is the Veterans Hospitals. Social Security were denied from 1934 to 65. Wow. Wow. See there? Yep. There you go. Thank you, Reba Henderson. Oh, I got a bruise on my lip. I don't know what I did. Must have did that in my sleep. Oh, it's kind of tender. All right, you guys. Reba Henderson, that was good. We'll have that as the last word. And I will see you all tomorrow. Yes. Okay, that's the last word. Good night, everyone. And be sure to go see The Little Mermaid. Yes, the movie is doing very, very well. In spite of the hate campaign online, the movie is doing extremely well. So I may go see it this week myself. But thank you so much. Love you guys. And I will see you all tomorrow. Let me see. Cue the Ginger Avenger.